Hello everyone, welcome to Telangana Exam Center. This is me Sayyid Shujatullah, your educator. Today in model question and answer series, we are going to learn one very important model answer with respect to Telangana movement, that is Salarjung reforms. Okay, let us throw a very good light on it. Along with that, I will also share a lot of tips to write the mains answer. The recently concluded group 1 mains answer, how many pages were there and how you have to write. Actually all these I will be discussing in this particular lecture. Along with that, I will also give you the model answer for this particular question also. Okay, let us start our discussion with this question. The year 1853 signifies the beginning of Salarjung reforms. Obviously this is the year he was appointed as the Prime Minister of the Hyderabad state. So 1853, as you also know some basic facts about him, he was a very good administrator. He has got a lot of good education from the experts already in governance, plus he was a Afaki. This also point you have to remember, he was a Afaki but did a very good thing for the Hyderabad state. And he also have the distinction of working under 3 nizams. This is also important point that you should remember as a factual thing I am telling you. But at this point of time, let us concise our discussion with this particular question. The year 1853 signifies the beginning of Salarjung reforms, which led to the fundamental changes in the administrative and revenue fields. So you have to discuss about it. So whatever you know with regard to administrative changes that he has made and revenue in the revenue sphere, whatever the changes he has made, if you're writing that will be sufficient. One important point that I have to tell you, Salarjung reforms does not limit only to administrative revenue fields. You also have his reforms related to modernization of industries, that is another category. You also have his education reforms, you also have his irrigation and PWD department reforms are there. So there are many other reforms that he has done that could also be asked in examination. Obviously that we will cover in our discussions for sure, but this is one clear point that the examiner is not going to ask you the Salarjung reforms in totality, because that will become a very huge question. So that is why he will limit you to write the answer in 2-3 aspects of the reforms. So you have understood the question. I will also give you a sample how to write it. I'll give, then we'll go with exact how you have to write with the theory also. So always remember this point whenever you are writing any model answer for any of the examination, whether it is TSPSC, APPSC or UPSC, you have to make sure that you have been incorporating all of these in your lecture series, in your answer sheet. In your answer sheet, I'll just change my pen here. Right. So you see here. Okay, so part 1 of your answer should consist of presentation of the answer, which includes what a introduction should be there, body of answer, and also you should have conclusion. If these 3 parts are there, obviously the answer will look very comprehensive. Then it is very important to address the question. So in our question they asked about administrative and revenue reforms. So you are not going to discuss any other thing apart from this until unless you have completed these particular areas. If you have got more sufficient areas, more sufficient time if you are having, so you can put in conclusion that there are some other reforms are there with regard to PWD or education, irrigation, etc. But it is very important that you have to limit your body of answer with regard to addressing the question. Whatever he asks, you have to write that first and you can do blah blah later on, but it is, you will not get time for sure. Adequate content means in administrative reforms, whatever the various changes has been brought by him, you have to write all of them. In revenue sphere also you have to write all of them. You cannot miss out. If you're missing out that other student is writing, then again it becomes very difficult for the evaluator to give you higher marks. So it is very important that you have to write adequate content. In adequate content you have to learn one important point, that you should not elaborate it when such kind of questions are being asked. You have to be very sure that how much you have to write. That's why write properly, write concise, but give the full content. Adequate content is important. Concept clarity should be there. If you are writing something, it should be communicated in that particular way. But sometimes what happens, if you don't have the concept clarity, you go on explaining it, that consumes your space, that consumes your time, and it is nothing but over explanation of that particular thing. Then integration of flowchart and diagram. If you are, remember this point, if your answer demand any flowchart, if your answer demand any kind of diagram, then you have to incorporate. So these are some of the variables you have to definitely have it. Then current affairs linkage is also important. Why? Because Salarjung one reforms are there. Okay, if he has given importance for the tank, you have to correlate that it has been replicated in today's time in the form of Mission Kakatiya. So current affair linkage is very important. If required in a particular question, you have to put it that way. Quoting report, data, survey, whenever is required is very important. And always remember, whenever you are writing Telangana subjects made model question and answer, whatever the question they asked in the pan level, in the national level, or in a social level, you have to reduce it to what? Telangana level also. This is very important. If you don't reduce it to this particular level, then what happens is the relevance of the question will be lost and you will not get much marks, because you are appointed in Telangana. You should know that how particular poverty is there in Telangana, how women empowerment is there in Telangana. So it is very important that you have to drag the relevance of that particular question to the Telangana, and a paragraph has to be made for that particular question. See, if you're having these kind of things in your mind, no, when you're starting the answer, right, so you will be understanding that, okay, I have presented the answer in this way. Next question, okay, sir asked you to address the question, these are my two important keywords, I'm going to write on it. Okay, then after writing that, okay, concept clarity is there or not, then I have integrated any flowchart or not, current affairs or not. So one by one, if you complete this parameter, you will get a very good qualitative answer. This is the importance, remember this point. Okay, then other part 2 is very qualitative. Right, handwriting you have to improve for sure. Medium letter of choose of words should be there. You should not be too big or too small. Okay, that is like consume the space, etc. Underlining is very important for the important statements that you are doing, giving. Space management and time management are equally important again. Remember this point. Okay, space management and time management. So all of these things I will be teaching you in our course. Okay, whatever you are enrolling for. Okay, basically remember, my dear students, we are having two important courses. One is with regard to complete, okay, with regard to complete mentorship. We are having complete mentorship for group 1 student. For group 1 student, complete mentorship is there. Here I will be covering all Indian subjects. Okay, then we will go with Telangana subject separately. Fine. So this is very important point. So if you are very good at Indian subjects, you can take this mentorship and test series. I have to say this also, this is test series come mentorship, and I will be telling you that it is definitely going to be working out very well with you if you are trying to be a part of it. So test series of Indian subjects, test series of Telangana subjects, if you are thorough in Indian subjects, so what we'll do is we will try to give you a very customized module which includes what? Telangana movement, it will include, okay, Telangana geography we will do, okay, Telangana history we will do, Telangana society we will do for sure, okay, Telangana society. Then we also have Telangana economy, Telangana SNT and environment we will do. So all of these subjects, for this a separate test series and mentorship will be given. So if you want to be very perfect in Telangana subjects and you want to take only for Telangana test series and mentorship, that is also available. And if you want to take wholesome, that is also available. Okay, remember this point. Telangana economy, I will add Indian economy here free because this is my subject only. Whereas polity, Indian history, geography, you have to cover all by yourself if you are taking this. But I suggest that it does not make much sense. But once you are connected with me, okay, we'll get in a very good sync. Then all the subjects will become relevant, because the way we will be learning, you will be definitely having an edge over other students. So make sure that you will be a part of it, and you can call to this particular number or text me on the WhatsApp on this. I will connect to you, no need to hesitate, I'll connect to you. The number is also there on the every slide. Okay, we'll have a discussion where you are, how much you are preparing, how much you have to prepare, which subjects you have learned, which subjects you have not learned, which subjects you require material, which subjects you are lacking material. I will hold your hand till you write your examination and get through the examination for sure. Okay, make sure that you be a part of it and do empower us. Let us start our discussion with this particular question. Okay, as the Prime Minister of Hyderabad, Salarjung I was responsible for the restructuring of administrative system. Obviously, he was responsible for restructuring of administrative system and socio-economic relations of our state. The land tenure reforms he brought, agrarian reforms he brought, fiscal and taxation policy he brought. He encouraged for the growth of trade, commerce, and modern industries, etc. All of these have played a very crucial role in the modernization and socio-economic transformation of our Hyderabad state. Now, it is very important for all of you to understand this in this particular way also. I'll give you how you can write this, and that's how it will help you to make it better. Okay, just a second, I'll just rub this one out. This is a clear example that okay, still technological advancement is required with regard to this. Fine. This particular app does not have this erase all on the slide, right? See, a state is there. Okay, nothing but in our discussion we are having Hyderabad state is there. Fine, Hyderabad state we are having. So he is talking about administrative reforms and he's talking about revenue reforms that we have to talk about. So if we consider this particular administrative reforms, administration is basically related to area. Administration will always have what officials, always have what officials. Aerial or area related changes will be done in order to improve what governance. In order to improve what governance, remember this point. Mean to have a strong hold on our areas. Okay, to make the things happen at the ground level, we will do some territorial adjustments to improve what governance. Okay, then officials appointing is very important because they are the execution group, execution category people, and official appointed here we have to control much about what corruption, bribe, etc., so and so forth. Remember this point. Okay, yes. So basically in administration you will come across area related reforms and official related reforms. When we talk about revenue, it is all about money. Okay, money transactions, you can say money transactions. Then you also have after that money transaction you also have taxes we will talk about, and then we'll talk about what trade, exports and export taxes and duties, what are the policies, etc. We'll talk about this. So I have given you a overview that what you have to write in your examination if they ask you administrative and revenue. So whatever is related to this particular subcategory areas or subheadings, you have to definitely be a part of it. Okay, now let us see this particular answer. Now you can see that what I have written here, I have given a full-fledged understanding of what Salarjung 1 has done. I told that he has done land reforms. I told that he has taken agrarian reforms, fiscal, taxation. Means to the examiner I have given you, see sir, he is not just exclusively related to administrative or revenue reforms. He has done many wider reforms with regard to the Hyderabad state. So I have given an idea that Salarjung reforms are not restricted to this too. He has more reforms given to what? To the Hyderabad state. It gives a clear picture of the personality of that Salarjung 1, that how much he has done. After writing the introduction, I have went to the body. You don't have to mention body in your examination. You have to just continue your answer. The Salarjung 1 reforms can be discussed in two phases. The first phase of Salarjung 1 reforms 1853 to 64 began with an attempt to mitigate, to reduce some of the most blatant evils of the former administration. Salarjung, the Hyderabad state was not having money. Okay, they were suffering from debts, and the army was not properly organized. Plus, the officials were taking rampant corruption was there, etc. So, very blatant evil administration was there. That is the reason Salarjung 1 first of all want to bring in what? Administration and revenue. When administration is strong, then obviously people will follow whatever you are actually giving the decree or order. When revenues are strong, then that brings the well-being among the welfare of the people. That is why administration and revenue reforms becomes very, very crucial for our particular any state. Even in today also Andhra Pradesh is juggling, and yesterday Chandrababu Naidu has also said that my state is in big trouble. Why big trouble? Because first of all, administrative point of view, they are completely lost, because they sometimes they propose one capital, sometimes they propose three capital. It almost 10 years they have not yet zero in on a particular capital. Still the capitals are what? Debatable. So just imagine the point that administrative reforms are not happening. That's why the state is not progressing also. And when it comes to the revenue reforms, you can understand that they are meeting n number of investors to bring lot of money, because money actually bring what? Jobs, investments, infrastructure. Okay, with the help of that, the society will become developed. So that there also during the Hyderabad state also the same thing happened. Salarjung 1 concentrated first on what? Administrative and revenue reforms only. Now you can see, first of all, he did centralization of authority. The major characteristic of Salarjung 1 reforms include centralization of authority. Nothing but instead of zamindars, instead of appointed people, he gave what? Salaried, appointed talukdar, etc. So the major characteristic of Salarjung 1 reforms include a centralization of authority in the talukdar, nothing but a district level, institutionalization and the revenue functions, concentration of administrative control in the hands of prime minister. This was the most important centralizing reforms or changes he brought in. Okay, then the first area related, he got Zilla Bandi system. Hyderabad, he has divided the Hyderabad into well defined and regular districts called Zillas. Again, these Zillas are subdivided into taluks with definite areas and boundaries. Accordingly, Hyderabad state was further divided into 5 regional divisions and 14 Zillas. Later on, Nagar, Kurnool, Gulbarga districts was also added. So the number of Zillas will become what? 16. Nothing but they all 16 Zillas were called as Diwani. All 16 of them were called at that time what? Diwani areas. Remember this point. I'll just change the color to make it more visible to you. Right. So administrative related, he got it. Then in administration, what will be there? Corruption will be there. He have to remove it. Abolition of middleman. He has abolished tax farming system, and appointed talukdars who were paid salaries by the state. Thus, the peasants were brought in direct touch with the state and relieved from the exploitation of revenue farmers. Okay, the farmers, nothing but the person who generate revenue, they're called as what? Revenue farmers. Then revenue wise classification of district. The districts were classified into 3 grades on the basis of their annual revenue. The first grade of the districts are called as 12, having 12 lakhs annual revenue, second grade 10 lakhs, and third grade 8 lakh. Okay, then appointment of officials are also there. Each Zilla was headed by Awwal Talukdar, which is also called as district director, who was assisted by Duyum, means second. The first one is collector. The second one is what? District collector, MRO. Duvum. Then Suvam Talukdar. Each regional division, okay, nothing but RDO, akin to RDO, a Sadar Talukdar was appointed. Awwal means district collector. Sadar means RDO, nothing but regional divisional officer. Then he took a lot of reforms with regard to revenue, stabilizing of, you can up to here you can put administrative reforms, here you can start putting what? Revenue reforms. Remember this point. These 2 more better subheadings you can make it. Stabilizing of currency and issuance of Halisika coins. The other important reforms introduced by the Salarjung 1 was the establishment of the currency. A central mint was established at Hyderabad and district mints were established in order to bring revenue under complete control. He issued Halisika rupees and this became the standard currency for all monetary transaction. Means if you want to buy, then you have to use Halisika only. That is what he made the standardization. All district mints were abolished and a central mint at Hyderabad was established. Taxes and duties, when it's come to that, as per the Salarjung reforms, the system of farming out of taxes on imports and exports were abolished. Okay, the government treasury was established in the city and the custom departments was taken over by the government also. In the year 1861, a stamp paper office was also established. In 1863, the first judicial secretariat was also established under the prime minister. Thus, by 1864, the basic revenue and regulatory functions had been formally set up by the Salarjung 1. So you can say that more and more departments with regard to revenue, with regard to taxation, with regard to duties, he has put up in order to make the revenue administration very, very smooth and streamlined it. Okay, now conclusion. Right. All the above mentioned reforms undertaken by the Salarjung 1 have played a very critical role in the process of modernization and socio-economic transformation of the Hyderabad state. Hence, as a visionary administration, Salarjung 1 was rightly described as the architect and the modernizer of Hyderabad state. Architect and modernizer of Hyderabad state. I hope this is all clear to you. We'll do a lot of questions with regard to Telangana formation or Telangana history or Telangana economy. I will be giving you more than 100 model question and answer. The examination will be like just like that. You can get through the examination. Along with that, the prelims, all related subtopics which are important in every subject I will give you, and on that important priority topics I will be giving you test, okay, which you, so that if you pass prelims then only you can do mains, right? I know that very well. That is the reason every subject priority list will be given. On the priority topics of the list you will be given what? A test to be written. So we will evaluate it and I will be discussing the core areas of yours, the weekend areas of yours, the current affair areas of yours. So it is better to catch my hand and sail to your goal. Thanks a lot for listening to me. Bye bye. Take care. Do enroll and do empower us. Thank you.